Hi, I'm Streaky from Streaky.com. Today I'm reviewing the PSI A215M, which stands for Mastering Speakers. So I'm Streaky. If you're new here, I'm a mastering engineer, been mastering about 25 years. I come on to YouTube to discuss review pro audio, talk about mastering, mixing techniques, sound in general. I just love audio, so anything to do with that, then this is the channel for you. Please subscribe by ringing the bell below. Now, these PSI speakers, I reviewed the smaller PSI, which is this one. There's a link up above to see that one. These are the A17, so they sent me these and these at the same time to check out. Now, before we go any further, that is the coolest colour speaker I've ever seen, because the finish on it, although it's getting, to be honest, it's getting a bit grubby, but the white is like a matte white, but it's so polar white, it's brilliant. So, PSI always do their speakers in burgundy. In the world, nobody wears burgundy, do they? Who likes burgundy? I don't think to myself, well, I'm going to buy a car in burgundy. Basically, these white look, if you look online, these look amazing in white. What are they doing in burgundy? I know that's their kind of colours. I know they've gone with that. Right, PSI, get rid of your default burgundy colour. Your default needs to be white. It's so good. So anyway, off with the rant. These are their mastering speakers. Now, let me see if I can lift these up. Now, these aren't, they're not massive, are they, by any means, if you look at them. This is, it's not that tall. It's kind of, goes down in width, so you can see the kind of shape. It's front ported. I'm so going to drop this. And then it's got two mid-range drivers and a tweeter in between those. So you can see that where they are, they look like hi-fi speakers, if I'm fair, because I think the sort of shape of them is very kind of living room hi-fi kind of look. So I guess they kind of cross over into that market a bit too. To be honest, they need to be a little bit higher. For mastering speakers, I want them at my level of my ears for the tweeter, but they are angled up. So that kind of pushes them, so they are kind of going that way. So by the times you've got them wide and you're in the V, as we always talk about, then they're getting more to your level, and then obviously the mid-range is coming up as well. So they have got a bit of a slant on them. I like the style of them. They are, really minimal. I love minimal stuff like that. I don't like over-the-top fluffy things. So yeah, they look nice. They're a good shape. If you've got a smallish room, they're not going to fill the room out. If you've got a living room, they're going to look quite nice, as well as you being able to use them for doing sort of pro audio stuff on too. So yeah, they are pretty good. They've obviously got amps included, so they're active. So how do they sound? Because they're not the biggest speaker in the world, so they are not going to go mega loud. Well, you wouldn't think they were going to go mega loud, but they do go fairly loud. They're certainly loud enough for you to be able to listen to and work on. I wouldn't say that they're not over loud where, if you really want to pump it out, this isn't going to happen. They'll overload, the light at the front goes red. But they're definitely loud enough to work on and get a feel for stuff. They look like they're not going to be kind of very bassy when you first look at them, because you just think, well, where's the bass coming from? There's no massive cone or anything. There's nothing that's like firing out bass, not like ATCs that have got like huge bass bins, if you like, old school bass bins. So there is surprising the amount of bass that comes out of them. There's loads. It's really, really good bass. The engineering that's gone into this is insane. I think the engineering that's gone on the smaller PSIs that I showed you a minute ago, they sound great. The way that the mid-range controls on those is superb. So it's exactly the same on these. The mids and the tops, very controlled, not too over bright. They're very revealing. They're not kind of zingy or anything. Very truthful, very clean. There's no hype with them, same as the smaller ones. So going from the smaller ones, it's good to have them at the same time, because there is a good correlation in the mids and the tops between the two speakers. So if you know PSI speakers, then you kind of get the sound of it. It's good. But they do give you that low sub. They do go really low. They do push that sub out. It's kind of, and it's a feel thing as well as a sound thing. So amazing how that works. I don't know how that works. That's super clever. Front port. Don't know how the insides are kind of going. I'm sort of looked into that, but they're doing something good. It certainly pushes out enough bass for you to be able to work on them. The bass is really true and tight. The stereo image on the speakers is exceptional. The same as with the smalls. They're really crystal clear. A lot of the imaging's very good between them. So yeah, really impressed with them. From the size of them, you know, I looked at them and was a little bit sort of disappointed, if you like, because on I was expecting, like, you know, something sort of this size and down, but to be able to get the sound that they get out of this size speaker is exceptional. And there's no DSP going on, it's just straight speaker, analog speaker, you know, with an amp in there. So very clever, very good design. Yeah, definitely worth having a look at. They retail around the £6,000 mark for the pair. So that's you know, that's twice the price of the smaller ones. So if you are missing a little bit of bass, that's, you know, these would work in a nice studio, because this will come above the desk and then you'll get the sub coming through from the bottom. So for that kind of money, they're definitely worth a look. I don't think you'll go wrong if you buy some. You know, they're very clear. They translate really well. PSI speakers always translated well when I've used them. So yeah, check them out. These are the new mastering speakers from PSI Audio. Please remember to subscribe. If you want me to master for you, there is a discount code below mentioned. And yeah, until next time, if you want me to review something else, let me know in the comments. If you've checked these out, then talk about that as well. So till next time, thanks for watching. Bye.